And we are back. Hope you had a nice lunch or dinner or whatever you ate or drank during the time we had off. We are back underway from New Orleans, Louisiana. Matt Canik on the headset, joined by Nits Chugti. We're going to chug through the afternoon action today. Four games from our WoW division. The first one's going to be a banger. Jackson Smylie and Chloe Fatsis, two of the top players in this field, in a big game. In the NWO action, 10 players are within a game of first place, either 9-3 as Chloe is, or 8-4 as Jackson is. It is going to be a spicy finish to this one. I'm stoked for it. Nits, give us a little preview of what you think we're going to see in this game.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what to expect here. Chloe's such a strong player. She's really been up and coming here. She came in fourth at the Nationals just this past year. And I mean, Jackson has won this tournament, I think, multiple times in the past. He's such an incredibly creative player. I think he has like this capacity to just use the board in a way like few players can. Chloe exchanging OUU, absolutely the best move for her here. Fantastic. I love that she's just moving on, wasting no time. And on to Jackson now, who is going to show us why he's been, you know, why he's been the perennial champion of this tournament.
All right, yeah, Jackson, I mean, TIC or MITT, both reasonable options on this rack. You want to undouble the T's if you can. I wonder how much of Jackson's thinking is going to be influenced by the fact that Chloe's made a small exchange on the previous turn. You don't want to expose as many floaters if your opponent's in bingo range, and trade 3 means you're probably in bingo range, holding AELN, AERT, stuff like that. So tick, though, is
I
just
feel
way
like,
better. I think
yeah,
this is good.
just a
Yeah.
really good pure equity move here. I don't think it gets better than that. Um, Luckily for Chloe, she's going to just draw into a bingo here. She's putting her tiles in alphabetical order. She's going to go ahead to see which ones she has in front of her. We know that Chloe has the option between three bingos here. I hope she's going to pick her highest scoring one here. And I don't think there's any chance of her missing her highest scoring play or her bingo in this case.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting on Jackson's last turn, the two candidate plays were Tick and Mitt, MITT. Had Jackson played Mitt, he would not have exposed any bingos to Chloe, but the C gives Chloe three different bingos: Frenetic, Infector, Reinfect. So a little decision, and one that Jackson did right in a vacuum, is going to tilt not in his favor in this game, but it's early. A lot of stuff can still happen. I wonder if Chloe is going to pick any one of these bingos for any tactical reason. I think we're going to see Reinfect. It is the highest scoring by 1 point. It gives back big triples, but everything gives something back.
Right. And here's the thing, right? Like, I wonder if Jackson should have played MITT here because the C is such a great bingo tile and he's seen his opponent exchange three. Now, maybe it's not that much of a danger sign. Maybe it's not as much of a red flag if it's three tiles as opposed to one or two. But the thing is, if MITT had gone down, I don't think that Chloe would have had a bingo. I'm pretty sure that there wasn't anything from the M or like T here. I think the only ones that she has are through the C, which is so, so, so valuable for bingos.
Yes, if Jackson had played Mitt instead of Tick, Chloe would not be bingoing on this turn. But, hindsight's 2020, and you're playing in a one-play sim, not in a sandbox. Jackson has pulled well as well. Hermit's on his rack as a 7, but Hermit has a sneaky front hook that Jackson set up for us. Hermit takes the front T for Thermit, which I think is a variant of Thermite. And Jackson threatens Thermits from the T or using the T on the board. I'm wondering what else he'll have available. Oh, yeah, an E gives Jackson an 8 as well. So depending on where Chloe bingos, she's putting Frenetic down. It's going to give Jackson other options using those E's in space as well. Chloe hits a clock. Frenetic is the play from her. Frenetic does win a sim over each of the other two bingos by about 2 points. So Chloe taking her time, sees three candidates, assesses, picks the best one, and now Jackson will bingo in response to Chloe's bingo.
This
Off to
is
the
a
races
no-
here.
this is a knowledge check for Jackson here. Does he know that frenetic takes an S? Because hermits Oh, he's got it set up on his rack, and he knows that hermits is a word. Is he gonna try phonetics? And if he does, is Chloe gonna challenge it? I don't think she will. I think hermits has to go down. It's 88 points, 10 more points than the bingo that he has with the E. So hermits here to the side of Tick making phonetics. I think it's just a lovely play. I really want to see him pull the trigger on this one.
Yeah, wow, wow. Word knowledge check for Jackson here. And yeah, let's zoom in on. Oh, no, we're just going to do a transition for a second. Word knowledge check, though. Frenetics. It is hard for Chloe to challenge, but it also feels a bit forced. Hermits and Frenetics is going to score so well. Jackson is currently assessing the other options he's got available to him. I know he's seen Hermits and Frenetics. He has to figure out what are my other options. He's going to identify that the second highest scoring bingo in this situation is 78. It's erethism through the E in frenetic. Hermits is 88. So 10 extra points to roll the dice on a word he's probably a little uncertain of, or perhaps Jackson has known all along
There
and
we
he's
go.
just sitting here for a minute or two to get in Chloe's head. Maybe we'll find out after the game. With Jackson, you never truly know. But Hermits and Frenetics, a big moment, a gutsy swing. I guarantee you this play is going to be held. We'll see if it gets
Oh my
challenged.
gosh. Here's the thing though, right? Like this gives Chloe such a great place to get rid of her G and her B and her U. Like this is so nice for her. She's gonna get 42 points if she just dumps grub here. Otherwise, she's going to have to maybe use her blank. Like if you see that F of phonetics, she might have to go with guffaw for like 57. And she's not going to be guffawing at that. Like you don't want to use your blank. You kind of want to save it for a bingo if you can. 57 points is reasonable, but like you kind of hope to get more out of your blank, don't you? So I think, yeah, I understand why she's like letting this go, and I'm glad that she does. It is the correct decision here. I don't know if he's still on. I don't know if these are courtesy tiles. I believe that she is going to play. But here's the thing, right? Like Chloe has known Jackson for a very, very long time. They've played each other many, many, many times. She's got to know his ticks and his tells. I feel like there's got to be something about Jackson's body language that can maybe give away to her, but it doesn't give away to players who just play him for the first time. That okay, this is a real word, or like maybe he's not sure of this, or maybe he is 100% on this. I don't know. Do you think that the players that you've played for multiple times, you're able to catch on to their ticks? Oh
Okay,
wow,
that was a lot to unpack, but let's go back to what's happening here. The play was held. Those were courtesy tiles. Chloe's opting to challenge, and as I said earlier,
wow,
this is kind of a forced challenge from her situation. This play's so good, it's going to come up green, and Chloe's just going to see this one start to spiral pretty quickly. Now,
that's tough.
the
That's
one
tough.
solace Chloe has is that she did have plays in both spots here. Gruff plays through the F, Grub plays next to Hermit, so she's got a good play next turn even after the challenge. But what a swing, a gutsy call from Jackson. I'm not sure if he was certain on Frenetic. The hesitation makes me think he wasn't, but a free turn picked up on a word check. Jackson back on turn now. A big swing in this game.
Wow, especially with the rack that Chloe had with her, she did not want to lose that turn. She wanted to be able to play through that and have her blank saved for another turn. Luckily, this board is currently wide open, and even after Jackson makes what I hope is what he is going to play his best play of Jude Jewed through that E of Hermits, she's still going to have a wide open board to play through. She's still going to be able to use this board to her advantage, but that lost turn could be the difference between winning and losing this game. That's 40 points that she could have scored. That's 50 points that she could have scored with a blank had she played Guffaw.
I mean, again, she still has Guffaw or Gruff, and she also has Grub, so she's going to score a lot of points this turn. She's not going to be punished that hard,
She's not going to
I
be able to play Grubbed after Jude, though. That's the thing.
but she'll still be able to play Gruff or Guffaw, and
That's
she'll still have a
true.
lot of points on the board. Let's focus on Jackson's play instead of dwelling on Chloe's challenge one more time. Jude is an option, but I don't know that it's necessarily correct. Jeeze is 58. Jude is 48. That's a 10-point delta between the two plays. Z is strong. strong on this board. Jackson opts to play Jude.
I also really
Simulation
don't want to
agrees.
keep, yeah, I don't want to keep that W. I think ZIE is such a great leave. Even if it is 10 points fewer, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic play here. So she has noticed that she has buff. I'm surprised that she's going to go with, well, you know what? No, buff is fine. I think buff or gruff, they're both good. Whichever one she picks, they're basically, to me, I feel like they're similar in their, um, in how good they are. I think buff is just a really, really good play here.
I think I would have played Gruff. Just the WG is so anti-synergistic, but oh man, yeah, there's the U to go with it, the WUG combo. Ouch. But two blanks on Joey's, or on, excuse me, Chloe, not Joey, Chloe's rack. We'll see what she threatens next turn, but let's look back over to Jackson. He leads 101 to 146, AEIORRZ on his rack. There's one really nice play here for Jackson, but on a rack like this, you probably start thinking about using the Z right away. Through the J and Jude, though, is the sneaky
Oh,
Rioja.
no, he sees it.
He spotted it.
Incredible.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Incredible.
Good, good little puzzle for Jackson, but solved within 20 seconds. He's such a
Really
beast.
nice. Really nice. I wonder if he's still going to consider Razor, though. The Razor going to the R of Hermits, making JO. That is 37 points. It keeps RIE, which is a little bit more bingo prone, but Rioja or Rioja, such a great play here. 43 points keeps REZ. Z is still a good tile. It doesn't matter that he's hanging on to it. He's going to be able to score with it later. Just very beautifully found and so quickly, too. Just really good job on his part.
Chloe has three playable bingos on this turn. I'm not gonna shout them out just yet. Chat has found one, and it's actually a really funny one. Grown ups through the N in frenetic because
Hey, didn't
before
you say
this,
you weren't going to shout it out?
okay, I'm gonna shout out all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, grown ups is one of them, and I won't shout out the other ones because I said I wouldn't.
Okay. All right. Ugh. All right. I really like Grown Ups. It's such a fantastic play. Not that we are those. So, I don't really know what it's like to be a grown up. I'm sure it's nice. Maybe some grown ups are able to find words like chat does, like mugworts.
Yeah, I before the game I called Jackson and Chloe children because they're so young, and I'm like, dang, everybody who's good at Scrabble is younger than me now. What the heck? And now they're about to play grown up, so that children's have all grown up. I saw Chloe legally grab a beer at this tournament. That's how grown up she is now. Time is a flat circle.
It's a flat circle.
Rein
You
me
know
in,
what?
Nits.
I agree. I agree. I was here at this tournament 3 years ago, and it feels like it was 3 days ago. There's no way the time has moved so quickly, and here we are at this wonderful, wonderful tournament. This is the New Orleans Crescent City Cup. Thank you guys for being here. I'm just really glad that you're here to join us watching these games. They're so fun. They're just, I mean, wow. You see these tiles on Chloe's rack, and you're thinking immediately maybe your gut instinct is like there's no way there's anything here, right? Like, but then you start looking at the board and you're like, okay, maybe something here will bail me out. And in this case, Grown Ups is going to be her it's going to be Chloe's savior. I hope she's able to go through this, iterate, and find it.
Yeah, again, three playable bingos here. I will finally call them out. All of them. Grown ups is 78. Mugworts, as chat solved, 70. And the last one, both blanks are O's. You can play out grows through the T in phonetics. Chloe will probably find at least one of these, and time will tell if Chloe finds all 78 possible points here or settles. I wonder if she doesn't bingo, like, are there any good options? I think she's going to have to play Gru through the E and Jude, and that's really bad.
Oh God.
She
Oh.
needs to bingo here, or she's going to fall way too far behind.
Hmm. Is there any case to be made for pulling a Josh Sokol here and playing one of your blanks? So, say for example, you're not seeing grown ups or mugworts or outgrows, right? Is there a case to be made for, in this case, where you don't see these bangos, to play the blank, something like swung with buffs? to just keep that R blank and shoot for another bingo. I don't know if I like that because it kind of like closes up that E of frenetics, the other E of frenetics. You want that N. You want this board to stay as open as
Nits,
you
I'm going to
want.
interrupt your train of thought. You put buff in the wrong spot. You can't make that play. Look at where
Ooh,
Chloe placed buff on the board and update your
thank
quackle.
you. I
Sorry,
appreciate.
can't let you go on that tangent and confuse us all. I've made that mistake too, though. All right, outgrows. Chloe has indeed found a bingo here. 66 points for her and 167 to 189. But Jackson has a mammoth play coming. Chloe's decision to play buff there, as opposed to where Nits had it in her computer, means Jackson can obliterate that spot. BY and Viri is 53 and holds QZ to continue scoring in the future. This is a big play incoming from Jackson. And dropping it down now.
Oh my
Viri and
gosh.
BY, 53 points. QZ as a leave. Nits, last game, there were no A's in the bag like halfway through. Look how many A's are unseen right now.
This is ridiculous.
Uh,
Oh man. And every single move Jackson's coming at, 40 points, 53 points. Wow. This is just 48, 88. He's just really like not letting up. Chloe's really gonna have to, wow. This is gonna be tough. This is gonna be tough.
this
It's
is this is a big turn for Chloe. One key consideration is, does she notice one of the candidate plays? There are different plays that do different things, but if she knows and spots the T front hook we brought up earlier on Hermit, KNIT plays through the eye and Rioja for 31 points. So if she notices that spot, that's a completely different line of attack she can pursue than almost any of the other candidate plays. That's question one for her. Then question two is, what else does she try to do if she doesn't notice that spot? Lank is a very standard play beneath the ED and Jude. EL and DA is 23. Open up a side of the board, but also just doesn't feel that solid. You're not setting up a tile you have. This is a big turn for Chloe. It should take quite a bit of time. It warrants a good amount of time. Let's slow the pace down, Chloe, and figure this one out.
This is gonna be hard for her. I mean, is there any other play that would, so like maybe she does tank because she keeps an A. So maybe tank in the same spot as Lank, keep that A, and then she does have a hook. Tanka is a word, and then maybe she could draw something there, threaten something there. But there are so many A's unseen. And Jackson's drawn quiz. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, so we see Chloe kind of just, holding on to her hair and like pushing it back. She seems to be just really hard, deep in thought. And this is the moment where she's gonna have to do that. She's really gonna have to think through this. Where do you play on this board? I hope that she's able to see the net spot. Net spot. But otherwise, I'd really like to see her play something like tank. I think that'd be good.
If there weren't just so many darn A's in the bag, tank would be a really nice idea for her here, but you have two A's on your rack. There's only one on the board, and six are still unseen. The odds that Jackson has an A are so high. And in fact, tank would get hit back with something like quad or a Zito. Geez. If there weren't six A's, tank is an awesome idea, but with this unseen distribution, not in a vacuum,
She's
I
gonna do
don't think you
Lank.
can. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, Lank does seem to do pretty well here. Uh,
Well,
you know what? I mean, I know she doesn't have that Y, but that's a good leave. The board is pretty wide open right now. There's that R of outgrows. If she can double through that next time, that's a really good play. That'd be awesome for her.
when you put Lank in space like that, I'd be so scared to make this play without being 100% sure of the back hooks. Lanky is a common word everybody is aware of, but does Lank take anything else? Does it take an S? I need to know the answer to that before I pull the trigger on this. I'll spoil
Right.
it for everybody's viewing pleasure. It does not, but maybe there is a little bit of hesitation. Chloe's unsure. I wonder if there's any universe in which Jackson is unsure. I wonder if somebody has to try it later on in this game. We'll see.
I don't think either of them would think that Lank takes an S. I think they're both so solid on their word knowledge. I mean, the way that you get to to winning the Crescent City Cup multiple times, the way that you get to being, like fourth at nationals, which is what Chloe was, you got to know these words solid. You got to know them in your sleep, and I think they both do. I think if there's an S that comes down to Lank, that's going to be challenged off pretty much immediately. And I think if it does, it'd be really fun to watch.
All
That
right.
would be, yeah.
Well, Nits, you were hoping that Chloe would draw a double double through the R. Instead, she's only pulled a 77-point bingo from the R. So you didn't get your wish, but Chloe is still scoring very well on this turn. Down 100 points. She'll bingo for 77, trailing now just by 23. And what a pull from Jackson. AIIOOQU. How did this happen? Jackson's rack got ugly fast. This game might have some drama. A good post bingo draw from Chloe. And this is anybody's game once again.
This is really interesting. I mean, he's got to play something like quays, to the S of outgrows, right? Like he has to do this, even though he leaves IOO because it's just so many points. His other options just really don't score at all. What are you supposed to do? Just fish off IO for, I mean, it's just like it makes no sense. Maybe you fish off IO and you hope to get an S. You can play quinoas through the N that's on the board. Maybe something like that is, but there's two S's unseen. IO is only playing off two tiles. I don't think that's worth it. I don't think you're going to hit the S by only playing off two tiles.
Chloe has, excuse me, Jackson has two plays with the Q that are even worth talking about. He can play QUAIS for 28, the IOO leave abysmal, but at least you set up the I underneath and you retain an I yourself. Quinoa through the N in Frenetics QUINOA is the other, but with two unseen S's, leaving a word just short of that double word is absolutely nuts. Playing I don't think is even an option here. If you're not going to play the Q this turn, you need to exchange. I think Jackson has no choice but to play the weak QUAIS to the S to score 28 and just to hope that his draw doesn't go really south. But if I'm
Maybe he's
Jackson,
play. Oh, sorry. Yeah, continue.
if I'm Jackson and I look at this unseen pool, I would be holding two O's after playing QUAIS, and there are five O's left in the bag. I don't know what's going on with the distribution this game, but A's and O's abounding. QUAIS holding IOO, drawing into five O's feels really bonkers, but there's just nothing else for Jackson. He has to do it here.
He is looking at the tiles for quinoa. I wonder if he's going to go ahead and pull the trigger on that. I mean, he has to hope that Chloe, with her random tiles, has not drawn an S. But I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't think it's worth the risk. Then again, I mean, is that spot, I mean, how dangerous is that spot, right? Like the J is gone, the Z is gone. The Q is going to be gone after he plays it. The X, I think, would hit really hard. Um,
Minx. Oh man, MINX would be killer. Ugh. But otherwise, yeah, not much there. You're right. The
right.
big stuff is gone.
So let's see. So I think, I mean, he might be able to withstand. Well, I mean, how? Hmm. This would be tough. So, I mean, any play that she gets back would be like 50-ish points. So, and he's only scoring 16 for quinoa.
Interesting.
Oh,
He's going to set up the queue. I didn't see this as a possibility, and I don't know that this is actually the right line to play here, but that's what Jackson's doing. I'm going to throw this in a
this is
sim and play with
really
it.
interesting.
It's wild that Chloe might have made exactly that play out of her terrible rack. It's just really funny.
But she's really, I mean, either she's got to play, she's got to play maybe like Outa, OUTA, out of this rack on top of DA. That's from Jude and Lank. Maybe she plays ODA and Outa, or maybe she just exchanges. I feel like maybe you just exchange at this point because this is such a gross rack. And maybe she is looking at that. She's got those tiles set apart to the side. She's looking at the leave that she would have. Jesus Christ. I'm thinking maybe with the number of vowels that are left in this bag, with the number of consonants that we see, with that ratio, I would like her, if she does exchange, to keep that I, because there's only two I's unseen. And one of them was just played off by Jackson. So there is possibly a chance that he's keeping an I himself. So I think I would really like her to draw, for her to keep AIT and then go from there.
I don't agree with that, but I understand the rationale behind it. If I am Chloe, there's no way I'm playing Outa here for exactly the reasons I outlined on Jackson's last turn. Outa holds exactly the lead that QUAI would have held, IOO. And the pool's not as gross now that Jackson's played a few of those nasty vowels off, but you have to assume still there's a lot of vowels. There's a lot of junk. IOO is going to go so south. I think Chloe needs to exchange. I don't know that I would hold IAT altogether, but
I'm glad that
you were
she's
the
doing
Chloe
it.
whisperer,
I'm
so
glad that she did that because the ratio is so off. And in the 100 tile pool that we have, there are, I believe, more vowels than there are consonants. So right now, there's just such few vowels. I think it was really important for her to keep that AIT. I'm glad that she had the recognition to do that. Luckily, it does win the sim. So Chloe here making an incredibly expert move, great recognition on her part, just really, really beautifully done on her side.
there are 42 vowels and 56 consonants in a Scrabble bag. It's generally about a 3-to-4 ratio of vowels to consonants, roughly, give or take. Anyway, Jackson capitalizing on NAOI with QUOD. He sets up the Q, he crushes the Q. Chloe goes in and draws fantastically after her exchange. So perhaps AIT was exactly the right path. ACEINST gives Chloe 2 playable bingos on this turn. Neither one scores a whole lot, but a bingo is exactly what Chloe was looking for,
A
and a
bingo's a
bingo she
bingo.
drew.
Oh, wow. I'm so glad that that was such a great draw for her. I mean, that pool did look a little unfriendly for a bit, but there were still some great things that she could have drawn, and she did pick into some really great things. I mean, maybe we'd be saying differently had she drawn into some clunk, but I mean, it's never a bad thing to say bye to those O's. It's never a bad thing to say goodbye to a U. And she's got her options. She's got 2 options on this board for a bingo. She's going to see them both. She's going to decide which one is better for her. What do you think, Matt? Which one would be better?
So 2 playable bingos, Nanciest down from the N in Link, and Scanties from the S in Outgrows. They both score 62 points. That's all she's going to be able to do, but she needs to pull the bingo or put trigger on a bingo now. She can't afford to mess around and pass it for one turn in search of a higher scoring bingo. Between those two plays, I don't think Scanties works out very often. I think if you just expose so much space, but the space you expose can all be wiped out in one play,
Right.
regardless of what that play is. I think Nanciest gives you more strings, more possibility, more lines, and just more complications. You're still going to be the underdog after getting this bingo down. You're going to be trailing. Jackson will be on turn. I agree with this decision from Chloe. This is her best bingo.
Really good recognition on her part. I'm glad that she's putting this strategically, as you mentioned. This is the correct play here. I think between the 2 bingo options that she had. So great job on Chloe's part again. She's really showing her moves here. Is this play on hold? Because it may seem like this word, Nanciest, is not valid in the NWL lexicon, but I think it is valid in WoW.
Yeah, it's a slur. Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
So she has drawn her
We
tiles.
got a
So good
WoW
for
only
her.
sighting. Sorry, go ahead.
I did have to WoW on this, yes. Um, so yeah, now on to Jackson, who does have ING. And what's he gonna do with it? Nothing. There is nothing good for him to do. Wow. Just needs to get rid of some of those consonants, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, an IN space would give Jackson drilling, but instead, this is a really ugly rack for Jackson and a difficult decision. This game got very interesting. The first thing I'm doing if I'm Jackson is assessing the unseen pool. What is important right now? What do I need to think about? And in this unseen pool, in this game of Scrabble, there are 2 big things I am thinking about. One of them is the X, plays underneath reattain for a gazillion points. The other one is the Y that I can put behind lanky. Those are the 2 key tiles in this game. I don't have either one on my rack. I want to go dig. I want to go digging into the bag. I want to play a bunch of piles this turn and try to draw either the X or the Y and win this game. We'll see how Jackson can do that. Drolls, DROLLS, through the O in quad. That that's
Yeah,
that's my leading candidate right
I
now.
don't know if Drolls is the play that I would make here. I think something like Dolls is better. I think like this is the last R. It's such a good tile to have. Like it's such has such a great synergy with R with ing. He doesn't have a place on this board right now to bingo, but it's still going to help him. That said, maybe he's going to do something a little insane. Like he was eyeing RLL, right? So like maybe he's going to do I don't know. Like, is there a way for him to try to block that Y spot, or is there a way for him to address one of these threats that he sees on the board? So where is that RLL going? Is it
He's going to
making
play
real?
rolls. He's going to play rolls through the O and the S in quad and outgrows, and I'll tell you why. It's because he's setting up a
The
front hook, I
D.
think.
Yeah.
Does draw take a back S? Yeah, it does. So he's setting up the S. There are no T's, or setting up the D. No T's to
Yeah.
hook in front of this. This is great thinking from Jackson. One other key consideration: I mentioned the X is a really important tile, but to cash it, you must have an I to go with it. Only one eye in the bag. Jackson wants to hold his eye. He wants to set up more scoring opportunities. This is fantastic Scrabble that we've come to expect from Jackson.
Really, really lovely on his part. I think Chloe's just got the one really great. No, actually, never mind. I think she's got two or three good candidate plays, two really that jump out. She's got that last Y for lanky, as you mentioned. That's such a great place that she can dump her Y. She can play YAPON, as Chad has already spotted, for 42 points, keeping PI. And if she doesn't do that, well, that's the only Y. There's no blanks out. She can also just do pokey, POKY, through the K of Lank, which I think is so dangerous. I, I'm not sure that that would be a good play here. She is currently behind, but I don't know if she needs to be that aggressive. I think Yapon is just a fine play. I really hope that that comes down.
Yapbon's the play, and the reason why is you go digging for the one other key tile. Chloe drew the Y that she needed in this game, and she wants to go try to get the X. Yapon holds the I that she needs for XI in two different spots next to Nanciest or beneath Reattain. It's going to be 52 either way, and scores a ton of points. Yapon 42 is a slam dunk best play here for Chloe. She's set it up. She's thinking, got to make sure this is right, but this is a great line for her.
Just really, yeah, so high scoring. This is exactly what she wants. She wants to be up. She wants to keep scoring. There's not going to be a place to bingo on this board. And she keeps that P for scoring pressure later if there is an opportunity that develops. Now, she's not going to be able to stop that setup, the Doral setup. She doesn't have an Eve to go into R. She doesn't even want to because Yapon scores so well here. This is what she needs to do. She needs to just keep the scoring pressure up.
Jackson did not draw particularly well. He kept DING after the setup and picked up EOO. I think the reason I'm pivoting over to Jackson right now is because I think his next play is going to be played in 1 second if he sees it. He has one really nice option next turn. No playable bingos for Jackson, and I don't think that's going to change, but one really nice option. If he sees it, it's going to come down in 1 second.
You know, that's a really great find. Nice.
Jackson will see stuff like this. Jackson's probably already seen stuff like this and is just sitting there coolly. Um, but wow, wow.
It's going to take care of that X spot that he's worried about. Especially once Chloe plays 5 tiles and has a strong chance of drawing into that X.
Yeah, that
Hmm.
X is going to be a key tile, especially if you can keep an eye to go with it. Oh my
Oh
goodness,
my
she's playing
gosh.
Yoni. Yapon has a bunch of different spellings, Yopon, all that. Maybe she backed out of the current spelling, but she's played an I. Now, if she draws the X, it's not going to matter. Left points on the table, kept the double P's. I know how you feel about double tiles, Nits. Interesting from Chloe there.
This is really interesting. I wonder if she's looking for a spot for the PP to score really well. I don't know if she's identified a good place for it to, I don't know, like pack a punch, perhaps. But I think that maybe it was just a hesitation thing. Maybe she doesn't want to lose another turn. It's key for her to keep scoring. And you know what? If she's more sure of Yoni, then go for it. Geoid as the play that you had hinted at. Jackson does find it. That is 41 points. Incredible overlap. Really beautiful find. He's just going to keep shooting up ahead. That's just, he's not making this easy for Chloe at all.
Yeah, Jackson is going to see stuff like Geoid, and I honestly surprised he didn't blitz play it, but good showing some restraint. Take your time. Chloe has a really fun play here that no human ever actually sees, but I'll call it out in a second. There's a little puzzle out there. I don't know that it's actually even correct, but there's something sick on this board. Interesting draw into her APP. She finds EEHM. Now has a weird, clunky rack. She faces a deficit. This is a big moment in the game, and it's really important to look at the unseen pool. The X still lurks, but the X is no longer dangerous from Chloe's perspective, at least not in any way that I see. XI is impossible because all the I's have been played. I don't see any big plays at all using the X on the board. The rolls setup that Jackson made earlier is now out of play. The S is really big for Zetas, and I don't have it, so I don't feel good about those. But I don't see any major threats that need to be blocked right away. Now I'm just looking to score a bunch of points and set up pacing. Chloe's looking to leave about 3 tiles in the bag. There are currently 6 tiles in the bag. Then Chloe's looking for a 2 to 4 tile play, probably three, that scores well and doesn't have anything substantial to block. What do you think,
Hmm.
Nits?
I like the idea of playing something like Peep, Peep. Now, what that does is that leaves ham for her, and that's gonna score her a lot of points on this board. She's gonna be able to come back with ape and mes. I mean, there's what are the chances that Jackson's gonna put something there, right? Like, I mean, he's not gonna have anything that scores incredibly well. Maybe he's gonna so like for him to overlap on the right, he'd need a T. There's no other T's out, or maybe he'd do ESS. But if he has the S, maybe he's using that for Zetas. So I think it'd be really nice for her to do something like Peep. If she does Heap, then she's not able to like overlap HE with the tiles that she has. There's no T. Um, I I mean, I hope she's able to, like, rethink this, but, I mean, it's Heap is still such a high scoring move that there's nothing wrong with it, I believe. It's a really good, 29 points, like, it's still a good play.
Heap versus Peep. I'm drawn to Peep here. I just EMP doesn't seem to synergize very well. But if there's one vowel that does make it synergize well, it's the O. POME is a word, and I'm likely to draw at least one O with three in the bag.
Right.
Funnily enough, all three are on Jackson's rack, but I digress. Keep the decision from Chloe. This feels fine to me, and we'll look back over to Jackson and his three O's: BOOOLNS. What do you see here, Nits?
Well, he's he's been given a boon with this draw. He's gonna be just fine after Heap. It's given him a really great spot to play. OT would not have let him play this play before, but now he can. He can just play BOON boon, and he gets that for 29 points, keeping LOS. I mean, that scores so well, and he's identified it. He knows he's got that S. He just sets it up. He can just go home free, I think.
It's devastating. Yeah, just the X or S setup that you can just throw down that your opponent can't do anything about. Yeah, it's such a good play for
But
Jackson.
here's the thing, right? Like, does he think that no, wait, okay, I was like, wait, does he think that this is an X setup? But it can't be because he has all the O's. So maybe like
Also, there's no IO and NWO.
oh, there's no IO. There we go. All right.
Yeah, so definitely no X setup to think about. No S setup to think about. Heapy is not a Y setup either because the Ys have been played. Jackson is basically home free to play Boone right here in this spot, and just I think he's going to win the game almost no matter what he draws after this. But he's got a bunch of time. This is the last turn he gets to make that is actually going to affect the outcome of the game in a meaningful way. So take your time, go slow.
I'm thinking, does Chloe have any path to victory here? So what is she supposed to do? Maybe she does something like AIM and ME. Nope. Trying to get the VEX out of her way. So where would she do something like that? What's she gonna do with what she's got on the rack?
So,
Hmm.
I mean, there's not a lot of high scoring threats from Jackson's perspective. If you put every single one of these unseen tiles on Chloe's rack, the best she can do is remex REMEX from the R and Viri for 35. Nothing scores more than that. and that leaves a pretty unwieldy combination of letters no matter what. It leaves B, G, or some combination of A, G, P, U, V.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a universe where if VU is in the bag and my opponent has exactly Remix plus Gap, Remix, and then Gap is going to be a high scoring out sequence. But if almost anything else is in the bag, like there's just that pool sucks. I'm not really scared of very much. And especially if I can slam my S that I'm setting up next turn, Boone feels like an unlosable play.
Scores so much. Yeah, it's I mean, maybe hmm. What can she possibly do? Is there anything that she has? I mean, no, I think Jackson's just he's always going to win this.
Yeah, I
Wow.
mean, she is indeed going to have Remix from the R. That is not actually going to be her best end game sequence, but Jackson keeping LOS, setting up a big S spot, and then drawing the last two tiles out of the bag. He's got goals and boons at the bottom. Chloe's best sequence is actually to block goals and boons and prolong this game, but that's only better by 1 point than just playing Remix, and she's
Yeah.
done no matter what she does.
If she does do MU, I mean, I think that's pretty nice. I mean, uh is there anything? What happens if she does? Nope.
Chloe cannot win the game.
Yeah. No,
It's
she
not even
can't
going to
win
be
this.
close. We
Well,
can throw out what ifs, but they're not going to work. The engines already solved this one. Boone with the S is just a
is
really
there
strong draw.
anywhere for her to do? Well, maybe she does MU. Nope, she does not. She can't do MU because then mug is a word and boons is still a word. Maybe she can do MU and then she can do XED under rules. At least get that X out. But then she's still,
Oh my
what
God.
is.
Sorry, chat just pointed out Chloe out bingoed Jackson 4-1 in this game, and I'm like, that's not right. And then I counted, and
Yeah,
it is. Just Jackson just crushed 48, 43, 53, 48, 39, 41 on his intermediate turns. I don't think I've ever seen
that's
a 4-1 bingo ratio, but a loss. This has just been a strange game.
I mean, it's been such a high scoring game for just, I mean, for the number of bingos that Jackson has been able to play. Just like, it's a little insane.
Chloe has exchanged OUU and OOOU this game. So I wonder how many O's and U's she actually ended up drawing. Chat, go figure that one out. But exchange OUU on turn 1, exchange
She's been haunted
OOOU on turn 8.
by just O's.
Voodoo, however you want to spell it. Just get her some V's and D's to go with the O's and U's.
I think she got that V a little too late for this game.
She got the V, but yeah. Voodoo happens in New Orleans. Got to be here to experience it, though. Crescent City Cup, best tournament of the year. If you're just joining us, that is where we're broadcasting from, New Orleans, Louisiana. I think this is a 13th iteration, and the biggest one we've ever had. 148 Scrabble players playing this weekend, in addition to a few dozen hanging out. Just enjoying the company and the food, hanging out for part of the time, and then going home before we all get snowed in. A cool vibe. And it's been a good time. We've had now 5 close games on stream, or 5 interesting games on stream. Now, this one was fascinating to watch as well.
Just, yeah, I mean, Chloe's just such a great player, and Jackson and Chloe up against each other is just, it's a fantastic watch. And now, of course, Jackson's going to be able to do something like Gox, easy 33 points. He can't be caught. I don't think there's any place for. Is there a place for Chloe to go out? No, there isn't, right? I don't think there is. I think even if she does Veep through the E of Frenetics, the first E of Frenetics, she's still got to have that E left. It's going to be a close game. I mean,
Yeah. Jackson has taken just a little bit of a pause here. Like, you can't go out, right? You can't go out, right? I'm not missing anything, right? You're not going out next turn, but Mux was just an attempt to muck up the out sequence for Jackson. He just no brainer put down GOX or LOX and then go out next turn. Just take those 7 minutes though. Make absolutely sure Chloe's not going out anywhere. She can be sneaky.
wow. Wow. Just like an incredible, incredible game.
I
So
had an
closely
observation,
matched.
but I won't say it on into the headset right now. I just noticed something really funny about this board and this game, particularly, and the words that were played. All right, I'll leave that one alone. Um,
So what is he gonna do? Is he gonna do Gox or is he gonna do locks? Is he seeing a great place for? Maybe he's gonna
Gox
do.
holds ALS, and that ALS is going to be able to go out for 21 points. Zetas and ALS.
All right, we see locks go down. 30 points for Jackson.
Huh. I wonder why that wasn't Gox.
Chloe's with 25 seconds on her clock, so she does not see the spot for beep. SAG goes down. That's a good play. 23
Yeah, and
points.
let's cut to overhead mic now that they're done and see what they got.
What, 84-36?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Good job staying in.
No.
No, no.
Okay,
That's
okay.
the- It's just with the EPROLE.
Right.
But I was thinking at the very end there, like this.
Yeah.
But
Fuck yeah, I guess, like, obviously you wouldn't do kinetics, given that you have so many.
yeah, like a
other
revisit and
videos.
stuff. I mean,
But
But,
it just felt like something you might
no,
do
obviously
anyway.
I could do that anyway. I happened to have studied that one really recently, so I'm
okay.
100% sure it was good. Lucky it came
Yeah,
out.
I mean,
It doesn't.
I don't know, it felt, I was reading, obviously, green fact.
Yeah, they're both reinfect and vector
Yeah.
are all good.
Okay.
I just
Something
weren't sure
about
of them.
kinetic, well, I wasn't sure. Something about kinetic felt like you gave back similar scores anyway to read.
Maybe because the F is really not dangerous in that
Yeah,
spot.
exactly. It's 2 less. Or, yeah,
Is it?
1 less. Well, just to
Yeah.
this. So.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
Yeah, that was the
it
other
does
one.
not.
okay.
But you don't want to set that up. No, reinfect probably
Because
does
it
get
gives
back more
this-
there.
Yeah.
But what about infector?
Infector is so
Yeah.
much
No, Krennic probably. I see. So it actually is probably defensive.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Then worse.
Worse. WURST. No,
Yeah, okay.
it's not a verb.
Is there anything else?
There's no work word. Not like lugwort. I guess
Mugworts
lugworts.
or lugworts.
More mugworts or lugworts.
Yeah, that's better. Okay. I think
Um,
of wart.
dude, I can't believe you kept this game.
I know
Crazy.
me.
Because,
This
like-
is a game of slurs.
Yeah, for real. But like with here, I had the Z, and
Yeah.
I had so
Well-
much scoring potential that I was like, this is gonna be a breeze. And like I
Yeah.
drew the Q, but then with a U, with I QU with Zeta, I was like, it's gonna be just the easiest game ever.
Yeah.
But,
no. Well, when I challenged. Yeah, we did that here. So that makes sense probably
Yeah.
done.
Well, I mean, what I had EIZ, so I had a lot.
Yeah.
I was gonna be
Even,
fine.
but yeah.
No. You sure no S on that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's only Y.
Um,
Yeah, I was hoping you were playing it as an S setup, so that's
no,
why I
I
didn't touch it.
wasn't. No.
Okay, so it's gonna challenge.
Yeah,
Oh, it was a Q setup. Yeah, I mean, like,
okay.
I had QUOI, so I could play QAIS keeping IOO, but this seemed like a better idea. So many O's
Yeah.
that I mean, I
And
want
I
to get
had
rid of an O.
yeah, I had 3 O's.
Yeah. Yeah, it felt right to make the Q setup. I figured you would.
This is a mistake. I should have played Gathron. I just
Okay.
wasn't
Didn't
sure
see
of
it.
No.
Yeah,
Um,
this was hard. Though, setting up the
Yeah.
D.
yeah, I figured you had
There's
the
no,
last
no
D.
T's out. So I had
And
the
you had
D.
the B?
There's no
Or
B.
the, I guess I'm thinking frog.
Yeah, probably. But those.
Yeah, this is a hard game to say.
Yeah, but I mean, there's nothing else. That interesting.
Yeah.
that was nice. Almost Gunda as well. Which
Yeah,
was
that would be awesome. I don't know, this is a hard turn. Obviously did not have when did you have the S from?
I drew it after George. No, it's tough. It's like you're,
Yeah, I kept
Something.
MEP.
Yeah, it's what you left two in the bag.
I left. Yeah, I left 2 in the bag.
It's tough. It's good.
Yeah, I know.
Did you chicken out of you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, just wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't studied the fives in a while. And like,
yeah.
that was bad.
It's tough. It's like if you were up at like get 10 more points, would be really good. You know.
Yeah, there's just no other option. I mean, I was low in time, but
Yeah.
it didn't feel like there were. I didn't see anything else
You
like
can't
to
go
score it
for
all.
it.
Really. Yeah.
You just have
No,
to go for it.
the pool is I mean, and there's no.
It'd be cool if there's a way to set up an X bomb.
Yeah, I drew the X
like
after.
PH. No P.
There was no
yeah.
P, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was obviously thinking you had
Mhm.
the X, but then I guess all the I's were gone. So yeah, it would have to set up.
Yeah,
Isn't
because the
possible.
X is there. I
And
think.
yeah.
Yeah, if you'd have to get the H or
Yeah.
P here for PIN. It'd be cool to set a hex
yeah.
here. That would be kind of
Oh,
cool.
that would be cool. Oh,
But it's anything you do is going to be so obvious.
yeah, you can build it.
Anything.
I don't know.
You know the T.
So we had to do.
I wanted to come.
Um,
Yeah, interesting.
yeah. I assume I didn't have any wins at the end.
I would be shocked.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
Oh, Nits.
No, to be fair, like it does. When I learned
Yeah,
it
it's like it's
months ago, it doesn't
I know
make
it is
sense.
magic. Is it a person who is phonetic? Is that what a phonetic is?
It is. I don't know. I'd say. I'll submit this. Get more interesting.
It's getting more interesting indeed. What a game. And as Chloe said, that's tough. That was a tough one for both of those players. But Jackson coming out on top with the big frenetics play, despite being out bingoed 4-1, showing the strong Scrabble we expect from him. We're going to cut to a short break, but 3 more games of play are still coming your direction. We will be back soon with more Scrabble.